Welcome to the Breakdown. I'm your host, Diane Remberg, avid reader, award-winning literary blogger, and the founder of Diamond's Literary World, which is my footprint in the literary industry. This is the continuation of October, the Awareness of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. With that being said, I am bringing to you a book that I just realized I've read for the second time, The Sunday Morning Wife by Pamela D. Rice. Yolanda Clarke is the first lady of BrightStar Tabernacle Church in South Carolina. She's married to Pastor Timothy Clarke. Yolanda is, in front of the church. She is playing the role of happy first lady. Her husband is playing the role. He gives her props and he bigs her up in front of the church. But behind closed doors, he is abusing her emotionally, physically, mentally, and financially. You see, Yolanda came into some money by way of an inheritance. And I don't know if that's why Timothy married her. I do know that's why he's staying with her, because he has this dream of becoming this mega pastor. He wants to have this mega church, and it takes money. So he's not only funneling, his lifestyle, trying to build a bigger church, he's also funding the lifestyle of his mistress, who happens to be an ex-friend of Yolanda. So the beatings were downright gruesome. Now, the reason why I took this so personal, if you are faith-based, if you have a spiritual connection, then you know that you should be able to talk to the vessel, your leader in the community. You should be able to go to this person for guidance, for counseling, for assistance. In this particular case, Yolanda was doing that. She was mentoring and counseling women who were being abused, all the while she was being abused herself, and she could not turn to anyone. One day, she happens to meet a young man in the form, his name is Andre. Now, Andre is holding a secret from his background, but like many Christians or spiritually based individuals, we all have a past. And so, he now is wanting to put his past in the past and move forward, find a wife. So he's just being a friend to Yolanda until she sees her exit, or makes her exit plan to leave, have you. But something happens, and the exit strategy kind of happened a little sooner than they thought it would. And that's not to say, let me just go back and say that infidelity in any form is not right. Whether it be from the leader, whether it be a man or the woman in retaliation, it's not right. But Yolanda she felt like she was forced to find her happiness, because she knew it was not with Timothy. She could not turn to her parents because she was somewhat ashamed, as many domestic violence victims or survivors, thrivers are ashamed to tell people their story, because people who have never been in that situation will say, why didn't you fight him back? Why didn't you leave? Why did you take that from him? Well, if it was me, I would have. 9 times out of 10, those people have never been in that type of situation. So they can talk all they want, not understanding the ramifications, the outcome of all of the aforementioned things. So, again, Yolanda and Andre, they become a little closer. Um, Let me just say, 6 degrees of separation in this book. My God. But it was actually a church member who outed them. Yolanda had a secret, and it was a church member. I could have strangled that lady, who actually went to the pastor and told him what was going on with his wife. And I don't want to give the book away, because I do want you to go and purchase it for yourself. Just know that her husband tried to kill her, and luckily someone saved her. And then what happens from there is what I like to call life on the other side of domestic violence. Because we always hear the gruesome stories. We hear about the abuse. We hear about, how he took all of her money. We hear about, how he called her all kinds of names, But we seldom hear the other side of domestic violence. What can actually happen once you leave and begin to love on yourself. And I want to recommend for women who, whether you've been in a domestic violence situation or not, once you have a bad breakup, you need to take time to heal. Love on yourself. Become one with yourself again, because in any relationship, what's going to happen is you lose a little bit of yourself, because relationships are about compromise. So I'll give you an example for me. I was not a movie person prior to, getting with the man that I'm with now. And he was heavily into movies. So, and I'm, as you guys see, I'm into books. Give me a book, I'm good. I don't need a movie. I don't, I'm good. But in order to spend time with your significant other, you have to sometimes do some of the things that interest them. And vice versa. If you find yourself giving too much of yourself and that person is not giving anything, then it may be time for you to reconsider. First, have a talk with them. And so once if you make the decision to leave, take time to love on yourself, because a lot of times, when the dust settles, and the ashes clear away, you rise up like a phoenix, and you love on yourself, and you begin to reconnect with some of the things that interest you. If you were a person who just would like to go to a bookstore and just go and sit down for hours, you don't have to check in with anybody. Go and do that. If you like to go to take yourself to dinner, go and do that. If you are a movie person, and now you don't have to decide, well, I don't want to see that movie because he's going to say that's too girly. That's something to see with my girlfriends. And I didn't never liked horror, but I watched it because of him. Or an action movie. Now you can take yourself to the movies and watch whatever it is that you want to watch and spend time with yourself. I mean, you will begin to find out that you like yourself. Or you should. I'll put it that way. You may even find some new interests. You may take a day to go to the spa and just treat yourself to, this wonderful ambiance, and, just love on yourself. And this was one of the themes in this book. Yolanda learned how to love on herself again. Meanwhile, whereas she had someone who showed her what love should not look like on one end, she had someone who was willing to wait and show her what love actually looked like. And it was a beautiful thing. And I really loved this story. Some people may be offended. I've said this before. with several Christian fiction novels. People get offended because it tells the truth. Okay? Your piece may be, disturbing or bothering their demons. Okay? And so they don't want you to tell the truth about things that go on in the church. They don't want you to tell, the ins and outs, the things that go on behind closed doors. But this is the world that we live in, and we need to be open-minded. So please do not, I hope no one is offended. I hope that everyone has an open mind. But, I've talked to some women, some seasoned women, and they've given me their wisdom, and they've been pretty open-minded, and they've even helped me to deal with some things. And to see some things that I probably never knew existed. So please keep that in mind as you're reading this book. I did give it 5 stars. Ironically, I gave it 5 stars the first time. How I found out I read the book? When I went to go and rate it on Amazon, told me that I had rated it 5 stars back in 2013. I looked at my review then, and I looked at my review now. Apples and oranges. So this book, it lets me know that I am digging deeper within myself. My mission or purpose with this cause is getting deeper. And I love that. I'm starting to see things in a whole new different set of eyes. Loving that. And it's able to help me to talk to my fellow sisters and brothers. Because domestic violence does not just affect women. So I highly recommend that you go and pick up this book. And part 2 is the Monday Night Mistress. Looked on my Kindle. Guess what? I have that too. So look forward to that. It won't be next. I promise you that. Because I want to try to get as many more books for domestic violence awareness in as I can in the next 10 days. So, until next time, guys, thank you so much for all of your support. Thank you for following me on Diamond's Literary World. Thank you for listening to the radio show, calling in. Thank you for your comments here. The podcast, your support has been overwhelming. So, I just want to wish you well, happy reading, and as always, be blessed. Until next time.